Trey Battle that came out of nowhere before. I mean, Merritt Hall. What do you think this means to get the starting nod, and are you more inclined to open up with the fullback so he can
It's
take
amazing. Well, I didn't even think of that, but I guess if you don't play the first play, you're not considered a starter, which I don't know if that's right or not, but he's the starter, you know, in our base unit. I'm happy for him. I'm happy for Georgia. I mean, sometimes you look at a depth chart or look at a position, you're like, I don't know how we're going to do. And for him to come out of the blue and play the way he did in the spring and in the fall and solidify the job and create competition is good. That is good for us. It's good for Georgia. Good for him. So, will we start in base? I don't know. But that means some other guy doesn't get to start. So we'll see. I'll let Mike decide that.
Mark, you have a handful of guys, freshmen in second and third team roles on the depth chart. Is this about what you envisioned in terms of guys being able to come in? I know you on defense, you had a lot of starters back,
Right.
but they're able to kind of help with depth.
Once we got them in and started practicing, you hope when you sign them they're going to come in and help you. But then when you start practicing, you're like, these kids, they need to play. They need to get, they need help on special teams, and they need to get as much experience as possible this year, because we know that we're pretty senior heavy on defense right now. So it's good to give those guys as much work as possible.
Coach, you opened with Boise State in a different kind of atmosphere last year. As you go, what are the differences in opening with a team like that, the top 5, 10, whatever they were last year, versus a team that it doesn't quite have that kind of profile?
Well, I think it's just the media attention. Obviously, when we're playing Boise State, it was just it was hyped a whole lot more than this game is. I think that because we're a preseason top 10 team, the media will cover this game because they most sports channels are, they talk about what happened in the top 10, what happened in the top 10. So I'm sure we'll get some attention for that reason. But I mean, the biggest thing was having two pretty highly ranked teams, at least 2 top 25 teams playing against each other out of the normal area. I think that's what made it a bigger story.
You mentioned the Merritt, former walk-on Connor back there. Has the preseason left you feeling any better about your all's depth, considering the scholarship situation, or are you about where you were?
Well, again, when you travel in an SEC game, you're only allowed to bring 70. And I think historically we've had a handful of walk-ons that are either walk-ons that earned scholarships recently or just still walk-ons that have been a big part of our special teams. We've had a great tradition of walk-ons playing big on specials for us. So we've probably been averaging about 65 guys on scholarship when we travel to an SEC game, and even all those guys don't get in the game. I mean, NFL teams run around with a 53-man roster, and they seem to do okay. So, I mean, the difference is that they can make trades, they can do things if guys get hurt and all that kind of thing. But, I think right now we have enough guys to go play football and play well. We have been very blessed to get through camp with very few injuries. I think, Hunter Long's foot injury, which is about a 4 to 6 week thing, it's been the biggest one to any scholarship player that I can think of right now.
He's the only one that's in danger of not playing Saturday, and he won't
I
play
can think
Saturday.
of on scholarship. Yeah.
Time for one more question?
Have you made a policy change or about how you address or don't address certain personnel or maybe disciplinary decisions? And if so, can you talk what ended up?
Well, you know what? I don't know if there's anything etched in stone, but we are handling it a little bit different this year. And I don't know if I can even say why, but we definitely handle it just a little bit different.